Teacher. But Doug was also a very compassionate and kind person, because unlike John Medall, I didn't get cut from the freshman basketball team. And I thank Doug Lichtenberger for that, because I think he realized it did not hurt to have extra people there to try to learn what he was teaching. And I thought that was a very valuable thing to learn from Doug. Doug also, for many of you may not know, Doug oversaw the first heart surgery ever performed at Pleasant. Do you remember that, Doug? That surgery was performed by Steve Blevins on a frog in Doug's science class. Steve brought ether with him to put the frog out, but Doug had the foresight to have Steve scramble the brains of the frog before the heart surgery began. I'm sorry to report that the frog did not survive. I have to say, I know you, where's the pause sign? You ready for me to start?
Go ahead. Go.
Carolyn Heine was our French teacher. And we had these carols where you spoke and you'd be reciting things over, and then all of a sudden you'd hear a little sound that indicated that she was listening to you. I have to admit, I had a crush on Carolyn Heine. It all came about, I told Henri on this, it all came about with the French R. We were going through and she was teaching us how to do a French R. And that's when it happened.
That's when it happened.
She would demonstrate how to do the French R, and I can't do it now very well. But when she tried to do that, every time she was on the tape with me, or whenever she was visually trying to demonstrate that, I quickly said, I don't understand, you're going to have to show me again. I did eventually learn the French R, and it helped me after that time. So I very much appreciated that. It has been a pleasure to go to school and to have known you all as adults since the time we went to school. I can't tell you how much I have learned from many of you, because from each of our personalities, each of us have strengths and each of us have weaknesses. And I hope that each of us have been able to play upon each other to be able to learn those strengths and weaknesses to where we can use those on our own behalf. I would like to say one word about Don Kay. The one thing I learned from Don Kay was, and John Medall alluded to this earlier, you don't do anything without working for it. And you've got to show it each and every single day. You have to prove that you're the best at doing whatever you're all doing in your own profession, in your own lives. And that was a valuable lesson I learned from Don Kay. And the other thing about Don was he cared about us all as players, and that's why he got the production from the kids that played for him when he coached here. And I thank him greatly for that. One last word. The last person I'd like to acknowledge is Bob Gooper. Bob, of all the teachers I've had, and I had him for 8 years after I got out of school, and my parents thought I would never ever leave school. I'd always stay at an educational facility for the rest of my life, but of all the time I spent as a student, I always thought of you as the best teacher, and I don't mean any slight to the rest of you all here, of anybody I ever had as a teacher, because what you taught was what you actually lived. And it proved a valuable lesson to me to be inquisitive about our environment and about what was happening around us. And I think I do that today, and I appreciate all the lessons that he taught us because of the practical experience he had before that time. So it wasn't just going to class and reading a textbook. He gave Mock and those guys tobacco, and he'd be in jail now probably because of that. I didn't know what tobacco was. But Bob, I very much appreciate the way you were as a teacher, because I learned so many practical things about life and how to live with our environment around us. So thank you very much.